Let's have a look at all the powers and items that are available for May in Overwatch 2 Stadium. In this series of videos, we take a look at all of the powers and unique items for the heroes that are currently available in Overwatch 2 Stadium. Today we take a look at May. And here we are in the practice range with May, the little demon. Let's have a look. As always, going to start out with the hero items. In the weapon category, there's 3 of them. And the first one is called Focused Flurries. 15% attack speed, max ammo is increased by 75%, but reloading takes 50% longer. So every other right click actually takes 10 from her ammo, but the rest will just deplete as long as you keep pushing the button. Reload is not too lengthy. And as you can see, we have 140 ammo right now, so let's see how that works out. Because 75 is quite a lot, so we are at 245, which gives us a few more headshots to pull off, but also a little more annoying spraying to be done. So yeah, not a bad one. It is of course in the epic category, so it will take a while before you get there. The next one is called Snow Boot, 15% attack speed yet again. Frozen ground increases May's movement speed. This is one of my favorites. It's basically Frozone from The Incredibles. If you spray in front of you, you'll speed up considerably. Look at that. It only works if you do it in front of you. You need to really be walking on it. Would be cool if you could expand that to your teammates, but you know. And the last one in the weapon category, again 10% attack speed. While within Blizzard, gain 10% attack speed. So that means if I set off my ult, this is my normal shooting speed. You can hear the difference, right? And it slows down again when the Blizzard is over. Now, I wouldn't call these the big hitters necessarily, but they are quite interesting. They add a certain flavor to your kit, which I kind of like. All right, in the ability category, again, only epic hero items. Sturdy Snow Fort, 15% ability power. Ability power is increased by 5% for each spawned ice pillar. That one kind of confused me at the start, but it basically means if you look at your wall, you have 5 ice pillars. So that is 25% extra ability power that you're getting at that point. The thing is, it doesn't really show up in your statistics. So let me put up the wall and we go into the statistics. It only gives me the 15% from the power itself, but not the temporary power, weirdly enough. But I can't imagine it being anything else, and it shows, the icon actually shows the wall, so you might ask yourself, isn't it always 5 pillars? No. If you kind of put it against the wall, in this case, there's only 3. But anyways. Next up is Eco Point Cryo Bed. On near death, go into Cryo Freeze and gain 15% ultimate charge. Can happen once every single round. Alright. Let's give this a try. So basically, anytime you're about to die, that wall will trigger your ice block. It will give you ultimate charge, and it will heal you, of course, because you're in the ice block. But it can only happen once every single round. That is basically your get out of jail card that you get every round. I wouldn't advise it. I mean, just pay attention and do it yourself. But 50% ultimate charge is not bad, but I don't know. Next one is called Icy Wings, which is a reference to World of Warcraft. You get 10% ability power, and Blizzard deals 100% increased base damage. That is pretty big. All right, let's do an ultimate without the item. So each of these blocks is about 25 health that is taken away. So we took about 75 to 80 health away from these bots. And we're going to equip that item, of course, and try that again. There we go. Yeah, we almost killed him. So we did close to 200 damage on this one, 190. Now, as you might notice, 190 is more than 100% extra on top of 80. It should have been 160 if it really was 100%. The thing is, of course, this item also has a 10% ability power, so that is added to it. That also counts. It kind of helps to bump up the damage. All right, survival. We actually have rare items, hero items in survival. The first one is called Cold Spot. 25 health, and Primary Fire and Blizzard can remove burn. So basically, which is interesting. I presume it's not only on yourself, it might also be on friendly targets. And then Mycicle, 25 health, Cryo Freeze duration is increased by 25%. So normal duration is about 5 seconds. If we equip that item, it is 6 seconds, slightly over. And then the one epic item in this category is Ice Sheet, 25 health. Ice wall duration is increased by 1 second and health is increased by 100. So that makes your wall a lot more sturdy. It would kind of be cool if it looked slightly different. The visual aspect is also different, but it looks very similar. But yeah, if you want to be an off-tank, that is the way to go. Anyways, those were all of the hero items. There weren't that many. Anyways, let's move over to the powers, and the first one is called Extendothermics. Then the Thermic's primary fire range is increased by 6 meters. Let's just move in and see where we start hitting him. Around the 10 meter mark. Now, if we equip that item, we're already hitting him at the 15 meter mark. That is quite the distance. The next one is called Frost Armor. Gain armor equal to 5% of the primary fire damage you deal up to 100 until the end of the round. So the more damage you're going to be doing while Frost Armor is active, the more armor you're going to have. So we're at 300 health right now. You can see the armor stack. So the more we spray, the more armor we're going to get, up to 100. So it only works with the primary fire. We're at 400. That's about as good as it gets. But that is going to stick around till the end of the round. Permafrost. Increase your health by 50% of your ability power. So if you're going to be stacking ability power, it's not only going to make you stronger, it's also going to make you last longer if you're going to have more health. Slowball. Endothermic Blaster's secondary fire now shoots a snowball that applies 30% slow for 1 second on critical hit. So usually you have the icicles that do quite a nice amount of damage. Now, it's a snowball that still does the same amount of damage, but if you headshot, you're actually going to slow them down. I actually like the sound of this. So that makes them an easier target if they start slowing down. For your next snowball. That is actually quite an interesting one. I don't think I've seen a lot of maze using that one, but maybe I didn't pay attention. Iceberg. Ice wall spawns a mini blizzard that slows enemies. As you can tell, there's a little blizzard around there. Well, it will stop them from moving, but it also will slow them down if they're trying to kind of walk away from it. Snowball flight. Jumping while mid-air creates a large ice wall pillar under you. 12-second cooldown. Now, I'm wondering... anytime you jump up, you're going to be on top of a pillar. This is something we've seen in April Fool's or in another mode. I think in that mode, it actually bumped you up way higher. And it is an ability that has a cooldown. And the cooldown starts as soon as the pillar is destroyed. Or the pillar despawns, then you have about 7 seconds and you can use it again. So not to spawn. But yeah, that is going to get you to safety. Again, one I've not seen a lot of people use. Twice as ice. When you use Cryo Freeze, reset the next cooldown of your ice wall. So we have our ice wall. Cooldown started. We use Cryo Freeze. And there we go. The ice wall is back. You can use it again. Makes a lot of sense. Colder is one I know for a fact is being used a lot. Cryo Freeze now encases you in a rolling ice ball that can knock back enemies and deal 10 damage, which is multiplied by the ability power that you have. And you probably have seen it if you have played Stadium, because almost all maze use it, but that is what it basically looks like. It bumps people away. It is super annoying, especially if you're going to combine that with the next one. Cry Cyclone. Cryo Freeze spawns a mini blizzard that slows enemies. So this is what it looks like under normal circumstances. You get that same type of blizzard that we saw on the wall earlier. Annoying, you know, but not unavoidable. Until you combine it with Colder, and then you get this. The boulder is starting to do damage. If you throw Mycicle on there, that gives you 25% extra duration. Well... it is basically May at her best. Next up is Frost Nova, where when Cryo Freeze ends, knockback near enemies, dealing 60 damage. So let's give that a try, shall we? Bye-bye. You can now boop as a May. Next up, Avalanche. Visible enemies within 20 meters of Blizzard are slowed by 25%. That means if I do my Blizzard right here, it is going to freeze whoever is standing in it, but it's also going to slow the people that are like 20 meters around there. Bliznado. While within Blizzard, heal 5% of your life every 1 second. So the first thing we're going to do is take some damage. And then we're going to set off our Blizzard, and as you can see, I'm being healed by my own Blizzard. Contrary to those two fellas. A lot of annoying stuff in there. Maybe some good combos, but yeah, it's just about getting on people's nerves, I guess. And that was all from me. Now tell me, which build are you going to use for the Ice Demon in Overwatch 2 Stadium? Let me know in the comments. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons and YouTube members. You too can become a member over on patreon.com/theomnicpost and right here on YouTube to unlock exclusive rewards. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.